Alright. Alright, starting to do some submissions. We're going to do submissions from mount. We've got Kirk mounted. First submission we're going to do is a figure 4. Alright, I'm here, got mount. Remember first that anytime you take mount, your number one option to end this fight is to hit them in the face. Hit them in the face a lot until they're unconscious or pleading for mercy or whatever, okay? Short of that working for whatever reason, when you're in mount, will you do a submission? Unless your intuition tells you, for whatever reason, that submissions will work better for me from the get-go. So, on a figure 4, with a hand, I'm going to grab his opposite wrist with my palm away from me. Okay? Grabbing the opposite wrist. Or the same wrist if I turn around, right? But not the wrist on the same side, the wrist on the opposite side from mine. Okay? So, I've got a wrist. I'm going to ideally flatten his arm on the mat with about 90 degrees in the shoulder and about 90 degrees in the elbow. 90-90. Okay? So again, my palm's away from me, his arm's flattened, and I've got his wrist. I'm going to take my other hand and slide it under his upper arm, under his bicep, until I can grab my wrist. Okay? And from here, so I've got a wrist, I'm under his arm and I'm grabbing my own wrist. I want to do what we call a paintbrush stroke with both of my wrists, that I'm tightening them this way. And then I'm going to try to make a pencil sharpener, old school pencil sharpener out of his arm. Think of it that way, okay? So I'm taking his arm and I'm just trying to rotate it this way. Like this, okay? But I've got this lock here. Here I'm going to paintbrush my wrists. That makes it tighter. Okay? And I'm going to start rotating his wrist under his elbow, trying to keep 90 degrees at his shoulder and at his elbow. And he'll tap when he needs to. Tap. Okay? Okay, so that's one way to think of it, is that old school pencil sharpener. You're going to rotate their wrist under their elbow. In order to do that, you have to actually pick up their arm. Or in some cases, I mean, it's not even necessary really to flatten their arm over here. If he's covering his face, I can grab this, I can go get the same thing and start to rotate it out from here. And eventually he'll tap. I don't have as good leverage, and I don't put his shoulder in as vulnerable of a position as though I had gotten it flat against the mat. This is a very vulnerable position for the shoulder. And that's what this submission is. It's a shoulder crank. And if I continue to do this past him tapping, or if this is a fight scenario and I'm not waiting for him to tap and I just crank, I will dislocate his shoulder. That's what this is. Okay? Alright, so if I can't, for whatever reason, pick up his arm to rotate his wrist under his elbow, I can think of this a different way. I can just try to pull this down until, so my objection here, my different visualization, is to pull his hand under his shoulder. Okay, so all the positioning is a little bit different, but the effect will be the same, and Kirk will eventually tap out, whoever your opponent is, okay? That's a figure 4 submission. From mount.
Should we show defense?
Should we show the defense for it? Maybe we should show the defense.
Okay, let's do that.
I think I'm gonna make different videos for it.
Okay.
So let's cut.